Today I'm going to look at practical steps to be fruitful, the process. We're going to talk about the process, and we'll focus especially on the tree. Okay, so to be fruitful, we must discover and work with seeds, our unique talents, our gifts and ideas, by following God's divine blueprint for work. As small as a seed is, it holds tremendous power within itself to bring great things into existence and to change the future. Today we look at the process the seed goes through to bear fruit. And as we share this, let's make it very practical, because it is important that in your life or journey of being fruitful, you discover what stage of your life you are in. Are you a seed? Are you a planted seed? Are you a tree? Are you bearing fruits? You need to know, don't just learn it academically. You need to be able to diagnose yourself and be able to see what to do, because depending on the stage you are, there are things you do to move you to the next stage. Are you hearing me? So don't just go through it as an academic exercise of giving answers. Practicalize it, locate your life, and know what you must do, because you must be fruitful. If you are not fruitful, you are going to be very frustrated on the face of the earth. Everyone has something unique to offer, even if it's insignificant and it's very small. And our uniqueness is the source of our fruitfulness. Everyone can and must be fruitful in life. We must chart our own path to fruitfulness by working diligently according to the covenant principles of God. The seed must die, and then it will rise again. If you are not prepared to be committed to a point of death with what God has given to you, you will be fruitful. You may be doing other things, but you may never be fulfilled in life. So don't be idle. Don't be unproductive or barren. Learn to start using your ideas and your dreams. Ask for God's wisdom. It's important to understand that new things are being discovered every day. New books are being written. Games are being invented. Stories are being told. New designs are being made every day in the fashion industry. You cannot just be a consumer. You need to ask yourself what God has given to you and how you can use it to contribute to life, and find that seed. And that's what we've been doing the whole of this month, discovering our seeds and utilizing it. It will take time and effort, but with faith, persistence, and patience, you can uncover and develop your gifts and use them to make a positive impact in your world. Remember that God gives seeds, but you must sow it. I'll say it again. God is the one who gives seeds, but you are the one who must sow it. If God gives you something and you never sow it, it remains idle and barren. So we have learned in Matthew chapter 13 to identify the seed and take it. In the process, the knowledge you display must align with the stage of growth. So today, let's start with the process. Number 1, Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 3. The first thing to do is to break the fallow ground. In Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 3, let's all read it together. For thus saith the Lord to the men of Judah and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground and sow not among thorns. Hosea chapter 10, verse 12. What does it say? Hosea chapter 10, verse 12. It says, sow to yourselves in righteousness, reap in mercy, break up the fallow ground, for it is time to seek the Lord till he come and rain righteousness upon you. Breaking the fallow grounds is a metaphor for preparing one's heart for spiritual growth and renewal. It's the preparing one's grounds, clearing away obstacles and hindrances that impede your progress. What it means is that you are actually making room for new life and growth. So God is saying that there are areas of your life that you need to break so that you can explore new life and growth. You know, sometimes you are so used to what you are doing that you are not prepared to enter into new areas. You are not prepared to do new things. And many of us are stuck with performing the same rituals, doing the same thing without adding new areas to our lives. Break the fallow grounds. Break them. Clear away the things that impede you from entering into new grounds, so that you will seek the Lord and his blessings. He says, break the fallow ground. It is time to seek the Lord till he rain righteousness upon you. There are areas of your life you may have left unattended. You think you don't have a strength. You've never penetrated those areas. It may look hard. It may look unexplored. For example, there are people who come to church who, for example, you've never gone on outreach. You've never prayed, haven't had an all night. You've never fasted a day or two or 1 week. You don't join in. You always have an excuse. But the Lord is telling you, break the fallow ground. We speak about giving. We look at what we are doing the whole of this month. The Bible studies. It's some people's lives is an area they've never explored. But you'll be surprised that once you begin to move into those areas within your field of operation, God begins to rain blessings upon you. Take the first step by acknowledging that there are some areas of your life you need to explore that needs attention, and then seek ways to break that fallow ground, allowing new growth and life to emerge. What this means is that there are things in the earth waiting to come out, but you will never see them until you first begin to break the fallow ground. You see, the ground holds resources. It holds potential to give you things, but the things are still in the earth because somebody hasn't broken the fallow ground. So there's gold in the earth. There's diamonds. There are mineral resources. But if you never break those fallow grounds, those things still remain in the earth. So ask yourself, what new things have you done over the past year? What new ideas, what new knowledge have you acquired in the area in which you believe you have a seed? It will open up another set of resources into your life. What must I clear? What new habits and attitudes must I practice to prepare myself to access these new fruits that has potential to add to my life positively? And so I'm going to just show you a few things today. We've spoken about the seed, but you'll find out in the verse I'm going to read, the Bible doesn't talk about seed, it talks about a tree. Psalm 1, let's read out verse 1 to 3 and notice it carefully, because it's important to understand how to be fruitful in life. Are you there? Let's all read Psalm 1 verses 1 to 3. 1, 2, go. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Verse 3. And he shall be like planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. Aish. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. I could spend the whole day today just sharing about this with you, because it's so important. There are some things you need to move out of the way. You know, and the Bible talks about a tree at this stage. It doesn't talk about a seed, because the seed has been planted, it's germinated, it's died, it's germinated. It has now become a tree. It is about to bear fruit, but there are some things blocking the fruit. And so in the verse 1, it says, blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in the law does he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree. Remove the thorns. Remove some obstacles in your way, especially as you start your business, as you get planted, as you start utilizing the seed. You get to a stage in your life, some things must give way out of your life. Is somebody hearing me? Because those things are like thorns. They choke you. Those things are like weeds. They impede, they frustrate your progress. Watch who and what you listen to as you strive to apply your seed. The Bible tells you the counsel of the ungodly. Wow. The way of sinners and the seat of mockers and scorners. Can you identify people like that in your life? Because you are doing very well until you have people start giving you ungodly counsel. And they will totally derail. You are going to school, or you want to go to school, you want to pursue education, you want to add to your store of knowledge, you want to start your business, you want to start coming for an all night, you want to break fallow ground. And then all of a sudden, there's a mocker or a scorner. You, who do you think you are? What do you think you can achieve? Paul Ambantem. And they start ridiculing the seed in your life. You join the choir, then they laugh at you. You know, Dosh and Ekpako join a choir. You see? And you are maybe 40 years. God wants you to break out into new areas. But somebody is mocking and scorning. And you need to be able to remove people like that out of your life. The counsel of the ungodly. The way of sinners. Every time you want to come, somebody passes a comment that frustrates God's plan for your life. You too, you go to a church and you are giving your money to a church or to the pastor, and they laugh at you. Meanwhile, that seed is going to break and a certain hindrance over your life. And so there are many people. It's not that God doesn't want to bless you to be fruitful, but the environment around you, they mock at everything God will use to bless you. Every new attempt to explore and break fallow grounds. And all it may take is for you to fast one day. But somebody's mocking, somebody's laughing, somebody's giving you wrong advice. Remove yourself away from people who discourage you. I mean, can you imagine if today, as a pastor, assuming I said, now I want to be a carpenter. You know, the first thing that will occur to some people is laughter. Isn't it? Because pastor, but what is wrong with carpentry? You see, because in some people's minds, they are ready to criticize every new ground you want to break. So you need to have somebody who you speak with who will analyze it and be able to motivate you and encourage you to break through and to do something new. Go an extra mile. What is number one? Break the fallow grounds. Number two, sow the seed. Number three, water it. Number four, stir it up. It means allow it to breathe and make it easier for the seed to rise out of the earth against the force of gravity. You know, when we're in school, one of the things we used to do was have this handheld fork, and we'll be digging the beds. You know, we didn't understand it. But when you plant something and you dig the ground to allow the seed access to breathe, to be able to come out. One of the things that you need to learn is to how to let your seed breathe. Stirring means loosening the soil, making the seed or the plant find its way into the open. If there's no stirring, your seed that you have planted will be smothered in the dirt and never sprout to the surface. You have to learn how to stimulate nature and encourage the gift. How do you do that? So let's say I have a gift of cooking. I want to start a cooking business. I've invested into it. I'm trying to get a business. People have encouraged me. Now I need to stir it up. How do I stir it up? I may invite people to my house and say, come and taste what I've cooked. Because nobody knows it. How am I doing? I'm stirring it up. It means I'm advertising it. I'm making it easier for it to come out into the open. I have a gift of singing. How do I know? I joined the choir. Maybe I offer to sing at somebody's wedding or somebody's funeral for free. You see, there's a part of your life that you need to be able to offer as pro bono. You are learning to be a mason. You've invested into it. Nobody knows you. Nobody's calling you. How do you stir your gift up? Somebody is building. Can I help do this for you? Oh, I didn't know you were missing. Come and do it. He may not pay you, but you are getting the recognition. So there are many people who have the gifts. It has never been stirred up. Nobody knows. You want to start. You don't start life by charging. You start life by volunteering. In marketing, it's called sampling. Every company that brings a new product out, the first thing is you want the customers to know. You usually give out a lot free, or you ask people to taste. What can you do? How are you stirring up your gift? Sometimes you need to just go and preach for somebody free. You need to attend somebody's funeral and pray for them free. Look for the opportunity and stir it up. Stir it up. Practice it. Practice using what you have in various ways. Offer free samples. Offer free services to sell and advertise yourself. And it's usually going to come at a cost to yourself. And that's why you put in time. You invest in joining a department. You offer your services in a church. Why? Because you are stirring up your gift. You don't start life with bluffing with your gift. You start life with advertising and magnifying yourself. The fifth process is removing stones, thorns, and weeds. The distractions that kill your seed. Bad attitudes. Removing things that stifle your growth. Stones are not necessarily bad things, but they impede your progress and do not allow you to be rooted. So let's say somebody asks me, Pastor, what is wrong with a boyfriend? There's nothing wrong with a boyfriend. But if you are in school, you are going to write exams. A boyfriend can totally be a stone that derails you. What is wrong with watching TV? There's nothing wrong with watching TV. But if you're a young man going to write an exam, TV is going to take away your time and distract you. So when I hear arguments, I just move away. Because it's not about arguments, it's about wisdom. It's about wisdom. And many people allow stones and thorns to choke their weed. You want to start a business, you want to content, then somebody comes and gives you another idea that totally derails you. Focus. Focus. And that's one of the things. Sometimes the thorns that choke you are your own negative thoughts or bad experiences. And every time you want to start something, it tells you no. Because you had a bad example, you don't want to do it. And so God's seed is with you, but you are not utilizing it. It's still a seed. It's not growing. You come to church, but you no longer join the choir because maybe you left a church where the choir maltreated you. You came from a church where maybe the pastor didn't treat you right. So you've decided, as for me, if I go to a church, I won't talk to the pastor again. No. The same accident car, when you get an accident with a car, another car will take you to the hospital. You don't say that because you got an accident, every car is bad. Right at the place of accident, it's another car that will take you. I know you've had a bad experience with a boy or with a girl. It doesn't mean marriage is totally out of the question. I know you failed an exam once. It doesn't mean every time you fail. Stop thinking like that. Your own negative thoughts. And that's why you learn to pull down strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalts itself against the word of God and the dominion mandate for your life, you pull it down. Because there are too many people frozen by painful experiences. And so God wants to stir you up. God wants to take you into a future. But you are stuck. Number 6. The 6th step is to protect and fertilize the tender plant. If you sow a seed and it starts coming up, it comes up as a plant. It is tender. It is not a tree. You've got to learn how to nourish the soil. You've got to learn how to protect it from pests. You've got to learn how to get insecticides and deal with the negative things that attack the young plant. For example, handling criticisms. Because when you start shining, somebody's going to criticize you. When you start coming out, somebody's going to talk negatively. So you need to protect. You need to care. You need to use insecticides to ward off things that attack the plant. I remember when we started planting the grass here, one of the first things I used to see was people used to bring their goats. Can you imagine? We've planted a lawn in front of the church to make it nice. People actually wake up in the morning, carry their goats and bring them to the lawn to come and chew the grass. And I was like, what? But it's part of life. The fact that you are doing a good thing, somebody's waiting to devour it. No? Learn how to protect it. So we have to learn how to protect our lawn. That's not the subject for this morning. But if you don't protect it, somebody will come and destroy a young business, a young marriage. Because their goats are waiting. Protect yourself. Protect your business. Protect your seeds. Protect what you are doing. And then, finally, we get to the most important stage I want to focus on today, is the tree stage. Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly. The Bible says, he shall be like a tree. So at a certain point, God is no longer looking at you as a seed. So it is not whether you have a seed. Have you become a tree? Have you gone through all these things? Have you broken your fallow grounds? Have you sown? Have you, watered? Have you stirred it up? Have you removed the thorns and the weeds? Now you are a tree. You see, one of the things about a tree is that a tree has identity. When you see a mango tree, everybody says this is a mango tree. It has identity. When it is a seed, it may look like other things. But now it's become a tree. You see, can you be identified by what you do? For example, if you ask me, what do? I don't need to tell you. What do we say? I'm a pastor. If you ask somebody, what do? You are a hairdresser. You are known. You are identified. So who are you? Because based on the cumulative things you've done, breaking the fallow ground, sowing, investing, all the things, now it gives you an identity. You are a tree. And the Bible says that blessed is the man, he has now avoided all those things. He shall be like a tree. So the seed is not a tree. Are you a Christian tree or a Christian seed? Because many of you can't identify what exactly you do. Because you haven't invested, you haven't broken fallow grounds, you haven't sown, there's no watering, there's no removal of woods, there's no protection, nothing. It's like you're just walking. Today you come, tomorrow you don't come. You see, when people move to and fro, you will never become a tree. Because a tree is planted. You may be able to remove a plant easily. But a tree now has its roots deeper than a seed or a plant. Somebody hear me? So, who are you? I know God gave you a seed. But then he says that blessed is the man who has become like a tree. Who's still planted by rivers of living water. Still being nourished. At the tree stage, your identity is very clear. And you'll find out that every time there's a tree, usually the three things go together. The tree, the branches, and the leaves. Before you see fruit, you see the tree, you see the branches, you see the leaves. Together, the tree, the branches, and the leaves work in harmony to absorb and transport water and nutrients. Photosynthesis is taking. Nutrients are being tapped from the roots. There's a firm, rooted, grounded. They produce energy through photosynthesis. They support the growth and development of the fruit. So when there's a tree, there'll be branches, there'll be leaves. Why? So that the fruits can eventually grow. They regulate water balance and maintain structural. See, when a tree grows up, it doesn't have just one branch to one side. It just grows on every side. Standing. Every time I come here to preach, you see, you have no idea what has happened before. I'm sure somebody say, oh, it's easy. Okay, I know. Just like a doctor who you go to a medical and the doctor is performing some surgery and cutting you. It's easy. Take a knife, cut him. But there's a lot that has gone on. If you see Lionel Messi on the playing field, see what you are seeing is the visible tree. What you haven't seen is the fallow grounds that have been broken, the thorns that have been removed, all the things that has eventually come, make him a tree. Hello? It is not what you call yourself. It is what identifies you. So I'm a pastor. I can call myself bishop. It doesn't my life. Because what you see is made of things that are not seen. So I see a lot of young people start a church today. You call yourself apostle, papa. You are 23. You are not even married. You don't have a child. Yet everybody's calling you papa. Life is not a title. To say you are a child of God is more than just, I'm a child of God, a song. There's a lot that you must put in. That is why we are spending time doing Bible study every Sunday. That's why we write out the God. Be a member of this church and just sit, walk around. You will be, when the fundamentals are weak, you'll be betrayed by the exchange rate. It is Sikasu. Come dear. Because we are not prepared to learn. We're not prepared to invest. We're not prepared to sow. We're not prepared to die. So the first stage, it comes with education and training. Your personal dreams and aspirations, setting goals and your vision, investing into developmental skills and expertise, acquiring new knowledge, building relationships and networks. That's the tree. That's the tree stage. Then the branch stage is building a support structure, expansion, taking on new responsibilities and projects, developing leadership or management skills. I know you are a good worker, you are a good hairdresser, but if you want to be able to make profit, you've got to learn how to run a business. You expand. So you are the best hairdresser, but no expansion. You can preach a lot, but you are not growing. Because you don't have branches of learning how to manage people, starting a cell, talking to people. You haven't learned those things. So you can always boast, I'm a good person. I should be the captain. But you haven't learned management skills. Those are your branches. And then finally, the fruit stage. Achieving success or recognition. You are known by who you are and your fruit beyond a title. So let me just end with this story of Lionel Messi. And I intentionally chose him because I'm sure a lot of you, especially the young men, can identify. So let's say Lionel Messi is the tree bearing fruit. What do the branches and the leaves represent? His branches are his teammates and colleagues who support and complement his skills. No matter who you are, you can't go through life and expect to succeed alone. You will learn to have people around you who support and supplement and complement your skills. You are the best singer. You need to be able to have branches, learn new things about growing a choir. You are the best prayer warrior. You can pray, but learn new things, because when you are leading a prayer meeting, you need instrumentalists, you need ushers, you need other people to help you. You cannot just develop by yourself. Sure, since you came to church, you've seen a lot of things go on. People have read announcements, people have prayed, people have ushered in, people have led prayer studies. So being good is not enough to make you successful. That is why sometimes people who go to school and they get 4 A's, they may come out and not necessarily be the best in life. Because you need branches. Your coaches and mentors. Lionel Messi had a coach and had mentors who guided and developed his talent. His family and personal support network. His wife, his children, and his friends who motivated and encouraged him. So you are good, I know. But you need, from the tree, now you need your branches. Because the branches will now have leaves. So we've talked about the tree of Lionel Messi. Talked about his branches, his teammates, family, coaches, and mentors. Now let's look at the leaves. The leaves are his individual skills and achievement. The goals, his personal achievement, He's now playing a team. How does he assist? How does he play in the team? How does he pass, relate with the workers? Those are his leaves. His leadership and vision on the field, personal efforts, his own work ethics and dedication to training and improvement, and his philanthropic efforts and charitable initiatives of the leaves. His leaves shall never wither. His leaves shall always be green. Personal effort. It is at this stage that God gives the fruit. So when you see a tree and the leaves are bad, it shows you a lot of things that is going on. It's not getting enough photosynthesis. It's not getting enough sunlight. It's still a tree. But the leaves determine whether it will bear fruit. Many people in an area like this, you see, they are small. As for me, I'm going to start my own church. As for me, it's my business. I'm sitting behind it alone. I'm just selling some small bowl of wache. That's all. We haven't learned how to grow big. Everybody's doing something small in his corner. Because the thinking is myopic. You join a choir, you bluff. You join prayer warriors, you don't come. You join this, you don't. You see, you don't understand that photosynthesis. You must receive the sun rays, convert it, supply to the tree to be able to continue standing. You don't understand that you are a branch, you are going to be carrying leaves. And the fruits will start coming soon. So you are a branch, you are a leaf, but you are faded. You don't allow the breathing and water to be transported to other parts of the tree to bear fruit. We call it commitment. In this analogy, Messi's teammates, coaches, and support network are the branches that help him grow and flourish, whilst his individual skills, the leadership, and the philanthropy, his personal efforts, are the leaves, are the visible manifestations of his success and impact. Just as a tree branches and leaves work together to bear fruit, Messi's collective efforts with his team and personal endeavors culminates in his remarkable achievements and legacy in the world of football. Wow. Can you understand how you begin to make impact? Not everybody is a tree. Somebody can be a branch. Not everybody is a branch. Some can be. At the end of the day, it is the result of. You see, if you ever think of yourself that I can do this better than another person, don't understand their fruit. And so because of that, nobody matters in your life. I mean, there's a time you go somewhere, you say, a pastor. They look at you up and down. Yeah. But the same thing that they despised, I planted it, I watered it, I protected it, it's bearing fruit. And the interesting thing is that they want me to come and do it for free. No? The same thing that you are holding today, that seems to be nothing. You place it in God's hands. You trust God and start better late than never. Some of you are in the hymns choir. Some of you are in the ashes. Some of you are instrumentalists. And I just like the example of this young lady called Afronita and the dance academy. I was listening to them as they spoke, and they said, endurance is in Germany. One guy is in China. One person has gone to America Got Talent or British Got Talent. And I said, wow. He said, yes. Now people invite us to come to China and come and teach them. People invite us to, we've set up a school in China. We set up a school in Germany. Endurance is there with, and I'm like, wow. And Afronita is on British Got Talent. She's qualified for the finals today. If she wins it, £250,000. I don't know how many of you work in a bank for 20 years and walk away with £5. Forgive me. Forgive me. But they pick their natural talent amid scorn, amidst ridicule. When we are at school, we are and And some of you here can dance. Some of you can start teaching people. She's opened an academy. She's teaching children. Once a student, you are spending all your money on campus. Distraction. In the law, does he meditate day and night? Start living by law. Not by a haphazard way. Your life is not regulated. In the profession, you're a footballer, everybody sees you on the park. You're a Christian, everybody sees you in church. You are going to school every day, you are in school. But some people don't allow the law to regulate them. You are a student, but you're living by another law of pleasure. When you should be living by law of study. And if you don't bear fruit, you become a beggar. In his law that he meditates day and night. And I like the last verse, 3. And he shall be like a tree. I say like a Nigerian. Like a tree planted. Where? By rivers of water. That bringeth forth his fruits in his season. Nobody can stop you. And his leaf shall also not wither. And whatsoever he doeth. Are you a seamstress? Are you a barber? Are you a tailor? Are you a pastor? Whatsoever you doeth, he shall prosper. You see where the prosperity message starts? He shall prosper. Prosperity is not something you receive in the air. I told you, it's a process, it's a journey. So if you are ready to prosper, you don't go and look for a pastor to pray for you. God doesn't prosper people by prayer. He prospers people by giving them a seed and asking them to work with the seed. Every country that has learned to work, whether they go to church or not, they prosper. Are you ready to prosper? Will you prosper? Rise to your feet.